Welcome to This Week in the SFL Week 6 edition. Welcome into our broadcast with Paul Sarp. I'm Cameron Irvine. Paul, we got to some Paulie J in pregame, and we're just balling out here tonight.
Yes,
ready to
sir,
rock.
yes, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, Cam. Again, bunch of things to talk about. We have some milestones to talk about. We've had some dominating defenses this week. We've had some upsets. We've had some blowouts. We're about to get into it all right now, Cam.
Sioux Falls and Atlanta. Impact Monday comes your way later. We'll preview that game, but for now, it's all about Week 6 in the SFL. Let's take a look, as we do every week, at your headlines. Paul, Arizona is furious.
I like that one.
If I could use the pun. That Vegas gets the better of Arizona again at Silver State. Scorpions lose their first game, and they have never won in Las Vegas. Let the bunch begin. 8 teams are currently 3-2. 2 would miss the playoffs if they started today, and yes, Tulsa is one of those teams. And the Pacific is tightening after Portland's upset last week. Seattle's win streak. 3 teams are now within 1 game of the lead. Paul, I know you want to talk about that Pacific.
Oh, absolutely. Pacific, what a tight race it's becoming. Again, Seattle going on a little win streak here, so these Pacific teams, Portland, Vancouver, LA, they got to keep an eye out for Seattle coming up now. But again, tight division, good division. Well, I don't know what else there to say there, Cam. What a great division, and I'm just ready to see some highlights. I don't know about you.
Yeah, Canton is winning their division at 3-2, and they would get in from their divisional championship. And then Tulsa and Fort Worth are actually on the outside looking in at 3-2. Tulsa behind Fort Worth behind Mexico City, Tulsa behind Minnesota in their respective divisions. So Paul Sarp wants highlights. So let's get the people what they want. Let's get some highlights going. Let's start in Houston, where Ben Stacking Paper's doing crazy things. Baltimore goes up 14-3. It was almost halftime, Paul, but Houston collapsed at the end of the first half.
What a interception by Ben Stacking Paper. Look at that, with that nice little tip, concentration, picked the ball off, and only got about 25 yards to run, put 6 points up on the board.
Still before the half, this is a drop for a loss in the backfield. G.P. Wells was out of the game. Law, the backup, with that carry. And then Dave Burr is smacked down by Joe Duncan and the rest of this defensive front. So now 3rd down and 17. And Dave Burr is sacked again. Sir Ron Yates, the 4th, making the play so quickly. Houston goes 3 and out. They get dropped for 10 yards of tackles for loss, and then with 15 seconds to go in the half, Warren Murray cannot be contained. Gets a block, gets Baltimore into field goal range, and the Vultures end up getting 10 points before the half to go up 17-3.
Again, Baltimore Vultures, we're going to be talking a little bit more about them here in a little bit, but just Warren Murray doing Warren Murray things. Again, he's a hard man to bring down, and as we saw there on that play, just make an impact game after game.
Shark Tarkington with a 48-yard field goal, and we're going to celebrate Tarkington tonight as that one hits the back of the net, and that's good. 17-3, Vultures with the lead. Let's fast forward to the 4th quarter, and that backup running back is fumbling the football. Of course it's Ben Stacking Paper, and Alvin Mack recovers.
Again, it's a tough time for Houston when your star running back goes down early in the game. Again, the backup trying to make something happen, but unfortunately, as we saw there, just fumbling it, giving the ball back to Baltimore, and that's one thing you don't want to do.
Baltimore puts him away. Jack Wigmore, Warren Murray, late hit. Frustration boiling over for Houston this season, not going as they expected. 27-5. Shark Tarkington now has made more field goals in SFL history than any other kicker. 273 out of 281, a 97% make rate. Cole Varner, the Hall of Famer, 270 is who Tarkington passes. And look where Jackman is. Look where the 3rd place is. 167. Wow. 103 more kicks from Varner and Tarkington than Kramer Jackman, who's a legend in his own right around here. Ethan Sneed, one behind him at 166. He's still active, so he's about to pass Jackman if he makes 2 more. We got Sneed on Next Level Sports, so we could do that on national TV next week. And then Brad Bretchett, another former Florida Storm kicker, now kicks for Charleston with 151, but an incredible achievement for Shark.
Absolutely phenomenal from Shark Tarkington. That's a lot of field goals made, only 8 missed in his career. Again, that's a lot of points you're putting up on the board and a lot of wins that you're helping your team get throughout the illustrious career of Tarkington.
Ashley Jackson caught up with one of those great players on Baltimore's defensive front who made a difference in this game, Saron Yates IV. She sat down with him.
Welcome back to PGI, and I am joined with one of the best defensive tackles in the league, Mr. Saron Yates IV, known as the chef of the Baltimore Vultures. How are you doing, honey?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Always glad to have you on, man.
Absolutely. It's all my pleasure. Thank you.
Hey, anytime. Listen, guys have been on a fantastic start. Of course, you are 5-0 at this moment with this win over Houston. You have been doing an amazing job. So tell me, do you guys, how do you feel about your undefeated season so far? Is this a surprise? Is this business as usual for you guys? What's the thought process?
Well, we always play each week for the week. I mean, we play each game for the game. We don't have no expectations. If we go undefeated, we do. If we don't, we don't. We're just trying to win another chip. And, all of us together, we can do that. That's what we strive to do. So that's where our thought process is.
What do you think is the secret to Baltimore's success is?
I always tell you the same thing all the time. We got family. You know what I mean? Even we play as a complete unit. You know what I mean? This week playing with Houston, I got 1 sack. I've been averaging 2 a game. But they let my other brothers loose. So concentrate on me. I said this last season. I'm gonna say it again this season. Concentrate on me, and my brothers is gonna eat more. They see what our secondary did to Houston. This get worse. If you think you could pass on a stride, if you think you could run on a stride. So, and our offense is unstoppable right now. I mean, it is what it is.
Sounds like it's just business as usual for the Baltimore crew, huh?
Hey, every week we hoping to see. Hopefully, we see Arizona in the championship if we make it that far. And see if we can get a rematch going on.
We will love nothing better, brother. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you soon.
All right, we ball.
Paulie, Cam, back to you.
Thanks, Ashley, and back to the highlights as DC heads to Mexico City tonight, or last night, and hey, Mike Churchill balling out in this game. Put DC up 14-0, but flash forward to the third quarter, Mexico City started to get it rolling. Ray Bentley with his first of 2 touchdowns on the night makes it 20-13. Then the D-line started eating, Paul. That is synergy going down. Skylar Kingsley with the takedown to force a 4th down. Mexico City on their next possession, 3rd and 7. Jordan Sight, pretty ball to the back corner of the end zone for the tying score. All of a sudden, DC's in trouble. Bartley with the score. Synergy going down again. Dan Tritz with the 4-yard loss. More where that came from. Next play. Handoff, Say, going backwards. That was Fowler on the TFL. And then Synergy backwards again. Bernard Patterson flex on him. Tie game at 20, now to the 4th. Jordan Sipe to Bill Henry. Mexico City takes the lead. They were down and out in this game. That's 21 unanswered for the Aztecs. Synergy outside. Got to get something moving. It's the fullback, and he rumbles down the sideline of the Mexico City 32-yard line. And DC starting to move the football, but Synergy is sacked again, and DC's drive would end in a field goal. 27-23, back inside the red zone is Ray Bentley. And he gets touchdown number 2 on the night, 34-23. Aztecs, DC desperate. 3rd and goal at the 6, down 11, and Synergy is sacked again. 4th and goal. They have to kick a field goal again, and got to give Potty some love, right, Paul? I mean, with all these field goals they have to kick, thanks to that defensive pressure from the Aztecs. 34-26, 50 seconds now. Defense did its job, got the ball back to Synergy. 4th down and 1. Hits Mike Churchill down the field for the bomb. DC 4th and 4, 16 seconds left, and converts that one. Paul, watch this. DC, whenever you're ready, you better spike this ball. Better spike it. Anytime you're ready. And he does with 1 second left. Crazy. Hail Mary time for Shabazz Synergy. What's going to happen, Paul? You ever seen a Hail Mary converted in the SFL? It's happened a few times.
I've seen a couple times.
Synergy. Look at the pocket. Great pocket. Hail Mary back in the end zone.
Whoa.
And no. Out of bounds. 34-26. Mexico City wins. Mexico City now the most winningest franchise. Yeah, that's what I said. That's how it goes in SFL history. 122 wins. Jacksonville and Queen City with 120 each. Florida 117 and Sioux Falls 107. Skippy with a $4.99 super chat earlier. Demographics really get the juices flowing. Check the box. And this is a doozy here. Mexico City now your #1 leader. What do you think about this list, Paul?
To see these types of teams, the history between all 5 of them, and there's other teams that may soon pass up some of these teams that we're talking about here, Cam. And for Mexico City 2 weeks ago to take the lead over Jacksonville and Queen City to get to 122 wins, Mexico City, they've been doing it for a long time. They know how to win games, and it just shows how much heart they have in the front office. The work that they put in, it really is showing that their work is paying off in Mexico City.
I think the craziest thing about this list is that of the top 5 teams, Paul, Mexico City has the least amount of playoff wins. They only have one title back in Season 9. They just have not delivered in the postseason like some of these other teams. But Jacksonville and Sioux Falls don't have any titles either. A combined 18 playoff wins between those two franchises, but neither has won. It just goes to show you, Paul, you can be in this league a really long time and still never win a title. Baltimore, by the way, is 6th on the all-time winning list. And, of course, their win percentage through the roof. Florida's the best on this list at 680. You just got to love seeing the history all come together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's one of the best things and what helps build the community that we have here in the SFL. Again, you want to go out and win every game. Obviously, you want to have a 100% win percentage, but that's just not how it works here. And for Mexico City to take the lead, it's just a tremendous accolade for the franchise and the team in the city of Mexico City. It's, as far as Baltimore, I'm sure they're going to be on that list extremely soon. Again, Cam, they have a 78% win percentage in their franchise history. And these teams in the SFL, they want their own Baltimore method, but they're just clearly not able to pull off what Baltimore is doing. A career record of 103 wins and 29 losses. That's just unbelievable.
They are so tough. And Houston, they had them on the ropes there for a while. Their defense really played well, but you got to beat Baltimore in all 3 phases to beat that team. So they're going to be on this list. They're chasing Sioux Falls, who is very talented in their own right. How about some defenses, Paul? This week was all about defense. Let's go to Detroit, where in the second quarter, GB Wallace steps in front of it. This may set a record. 101 yards officially. The pick 6 in Queen City puts the first touchdown on the board defensively. It's a great call, too. And the Corsairs cooking.
I know as soon as he got back off of that field and hit the bench, I knew he was asking for some oxygen. 101 yards, that's a long way to run. And look at him, there's not anyone even close to him.
10-6 now in the third quarter, and Guy Clausen fumbled the football. Queen City recovers. This game was so crazy. So many twists and turns between two teams desperate for a win, Queen City especially, but another wild turnover.
Again, you just gotta, when you get the ball and make a football move, you just have to hold on to the ball. I'm sure Guy Clausen wanted to get that one back, but again, there's still time left in the game, and let's see what Motor City, if they can get this W.
Ted Haynes forced the fumble, and then Doug Spelling catches it on the back end, and John Lakeman, the rookie, who's had his ups and downs this season, hits James Matthew Jr., and hey, 17-6. Corsairs up on the road. They're looking like they're better than their 0-4 record. Late third quarter, Motor City is punting. Watch this crazy play. Fair catch called for, but it hit a Queen City player, and Motor City recovers it. This game had everything. 17-13, Motor City converted that into a touchdown. That could have been another touchdown, but instead the receiver drops it. And with 6 minutes to go, Queen City makes the play, but missed the field goal. 4th and 2, Abraham Crieta hits Guy Clausen. Not going to fumble this one. Clausen gets down to the Queen City 22-yard line to set up Crieta to Orain Darby in the final stages of this one. Top of the screen. Check the route. Fade. Got him. Score. 20-17. Motor City goes into their bye week happy. They get the win, 2-4. Queen City falls to 0-5. Over to Seattle. Defense reigns supreme. Early on, it was Blue Scott getting another touchdown to her name from Trellis Blanton, 7-0 nemesis. But that's about the last of the offense you're going to see in this highlight reel. O.J. Bruin hits Kingston Ellington. Nope. Amar Bryant Jr. snags it. This dude has been playing great football.
Yeah, for the past few weeks, Amar Bryant Jr. is playing on an absolute different level. As we see here, getting both feet down to control possession of the ball, getting the ball back for this Nemesis offense.
Blanton's pass in the back of the end zone picked off. That was one of many red zone interceptions in this game, taking points off the board. John Martin with the takeaway. Now O.J. Bruin with 2 minutes to go in the half. Look at Amar Bryant Jr., one of the cleanest picks you'll see all season. He just ran right after that and got it.
Read it like an absolute book. He has his eyes on the quarterback, knows the zone he's playing, and just jumps it. Just beautiful interception for the second one for Amar Bryant Jr.
O.J. Bruin drops back, and this time Amar Bryant Jr. beaten by Kingston Ellington. Jacksonville would turn that into a field goal, 7-3 in the third. Flash forward to the fourth. Blanton's pass picked off again in the end zone. Jacksonville's defense keeping it alive, but Bruin having some trouble on this night. Oh, man, what a pick from Brady Clark. Seattle doing everything they can. Jacksonville would get a half stop, 10-3, and the Kings would get one more shot at it. But not before another look at this Brady Clark pick.
For Brady Clark, just again playing his zone, reading the quarterback, and just jumping the pass, just like Amar Bryant Jr. Again, that's, I believe, that was interception 6, as that one's going to be interception 7 for Seattle Nemesis in this game.
Seattle wins 10-3. Ashley Jackson caught up with Doug Day after the game.
We are back with my PGI interview featuring Mr. Doug Day, is GM over at Seattle Nemesis, coming fresh off a win against the Jacksonville Kings. Man, that was a fantastic game to watch. I mean, very defensive game.
Very defensive.
Sides. Yes, yes. So 3-10, you guys did not let them score until like 1 minute left in the third quarter, and that was only a field goal. So what was the keys to your success this game?
Well, we had talked about it throughout the week, and we kind of utilized we had the thought process of, you know, we knew they had a rookie running back. We knew they had some DBs that were, you know, on the lower value side. So we figured we would try to expose those weaknesses. But I mean, as you saw in the game, it's like their defense came to play. You know, everybody's like, oh, it was an exciting game. We were losing our minds because we know how explosive that Jacksonville's offense can be. And we were just like, here it comes. every time OJ Bruin would cock back and throw that ball, we were like, oh crap.
Right.
And then it started coming back the other way, and it was like, wait, what just happened? And it was definitely a wild game. I mean, for a score to be 10-3, I can't remember. I don't think I've seen one that, we held them to 3 points. I mean, that was big considering we gave up 38 to Indy.
Yeah.
So,
Like night and day.
but yeah. But we said it at the beginning of the season. We said it in the off season. We get our people. We start building them up. We start progressing them. Everybody came back. We could just keep doing our thing, and it's going to come. It's going to come. So we're pretty excited to be where we are at this point in the season. Just had our bye week. We took on Jacksonville. We've got the W there. But, the win was great. But as soon as that game ended, we were immediately like, okay, who do we got next? And that's where our focus is right now. And it's going to be we have, I think, Sioux Falls, and then Louisiana, and then Minnesota or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 3 teams that you cannot sit back. We score 10 points in any of those games, we're done.
Okay. Exactly. Well, you did get those 2 wins that you were looking for at the beginning of the season. You said, hey,
that's what I have right there. Right there.
Hashtag 2 wins. Well, hopefully you'll get more than that for the rest of the season. Good luck to all of you. Keep the positive vibes going, man. It's infectious.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Doug, always a pleasure to see you and have you on. Can't wait to see what you guys got next week.
Oh, yeah. Always a pleasure, Ashley. Have a good night.
You too. Cam, Polly, back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. I love Doug's backdrop. It's just Seattle centric. I mean, these people watching at home on Next Level Sports, right? They don't understand, right? These are like the SFL super fans, but the super fans are also owners and general managers and all this stuff. And it's always awesome to see them on camera doing interviews. Paul, back to defense and the Canton Classics. They know how to play some defense. Not on this play though. Pseudo Nakai, got to give him his love. He didn't have a lot of highlights tonight, but he sure got San Diego off to a hot start, 7-0.
Again, to start off against the defense that's been as hot as Canton Classics have been, just a great start to the game for San Diego to get off to an early lead. Just Canton's defense has kept them in games all season long, and not sure what we're going to see in these highlights, but I'm going to expect to see some defensive highlights from Canton.
Classics are second in points allowed per game, but Robert Johnson gets the touchdown there. Not a lot of highlights from this game. We flash forward to the fourth quarter, and it's the backup quarterback that made all the waves. I mean, yeah, we've got tons of forced fumbles and sacks and all sorts of stuff in these highlights, but it's Tex Grigg who led Canton down the field for a game-winning drive. Look at this. 3 for 3, 19 for 30 on this day. He had a better QBR than Cameron Curtis, the starter. And Rob Ems gets more kicker love here tonight. Sets up for the game winner. And 24-yard field goal away. Would we be going to overtime? Look at Grigg holding for the field goal as well. He did it all in this game, 16-13. Canton gets the win, and yeah, they played a lot of defense in that game. 3-2 now on the season. A little bit more offense in this one. Arizona goes to Las Vegas, but Ashley Jackson picked off by John Osiris. He's gone, and Paul, Silver State Stadium is on fire.
They sure are, Cam.
Don't burn yourself.
Yeah, don't burn yourself, because this Las Vegas Fury defense is something else, Cam. We've seen week after week this defense is putting points up on the board for Las Vegas. So when your defense is putting points on the board and your offense is putting points up on the board, it's going to be a tough team to beat with that recipe.
10-0 in the first. Ashley Jackson's got to respond. How would she respond? Boom! Just like that. Woo! Connor Weston down the field for the score. And it's 10-7. Arizona's back in front. Fast forward to the end of the first half, and it's 21-10 Arizona. Eric Price, not the prettiest of balls, but it's Doug Britton for a much-needed touchdown to the fourth. 24-20. Sean Allen, former Scorpion, one of his 3 interceptions on the night, puts Vegas back in business. 4th and 7. Eric Price, somebody cover! Mason, oh no, it's Doug Britton. Get to Mason in a moment. Doug Britton with the score. Mason Kirby now out of the slot. He's the giant killer, Paul. Killed the Alaska Storm Dynasty in the playoffs. Kills the unbeaten Scorpions right there. 27-24. Arizona, one last shot. Jackson's pass caught. Fumble! And Vegas recovers. Unbelievable. Arizona loses their first game of the season.
Arizona losing their first game proves that Arizona is an incredibly tough team. For Las Vegas to come in to host Arizona and just play defense, execute the game plan, and just play football how you know how to play football, just was able to get the job done, and a great showing for the Fury against an incredible Arizona Scorpions team.
Vegas just a half game back now in the win column. Arizona has a bye next week, and Vegas has the chance to take the lead in the West Division heading into Week 8 next week if they get a victory. I don't know how upset Eddie Gage was, but we're about to find out. Ashley caught up with him after the game.
Welcome back to PGI, and I am here with Mr. Eddie Gage. He is the coach, owner of the Arizona Scorpions that was just handed first loss of the season by the Las Vegas Fury. So, Coach, what do you think things broke down for the Arizona Scorpions tonight?
Couple things. One, we couldn't get our running game going, put too much pressure on our passing game to make it happen. And 2, turnovers, man. 6 interceptions and a lost fumble. That's the ball game right there. You can't win. You can't expect to win too many games, lose a turnover battle like that.
Indeed, indeed. Is there a particular play that you wish you would have had back?
Name them. I'd say if I had to pick one, I would say the pass that Will Todd would have caught around the 5-yard line and probably ran in for a touchdown, but he bobbled and dropped it, and it got picked off for interception. That was big.
Why do you think it's so difficult for Arizona to get a win in Silver State Stadium?
They're a tough team, and they match up against us well. They always have. But it seems like every loss that we suffer to them is things tend to happen, like the game tonight or the game in which DJ got hurt in like the first few minutes of the game a few seasons ago. It's always something going on up there that we just can't get a win. And, if we're going to get to that next level, we need to find a way to win games like that. And tonight we didn't do it.
Hey, still a long season to go. Still 5-1, still the leader of the division. So you still have a lot to hang your hat on, but maybe this is just a lesson.
Stay tuned.
Indeed. Thank you, Eddie. Appreciate your time, brother. And back to you, Polly and Cam in the booth.
Thanks, Ashley. Nobody says indeed with more class than Ashley Jackson, right, Paul? That's
There's nobody else in this world.
That's true. That's true. That says anything, really, with more class than Ashley Jackson. So, Motor City, 4 picks. They lead the league in turnovers forced. 7 picks for Seattle, 6 picks for Vegas. Canton doesn't beat you with flash. They don't light up the box score. But when you leave a game with the Canton Classics defense, you leave bloodied and bruised. What
Absolutely.
defense? It could be any of those 4, or it could be somebody else. What defenses should be most feared in the SFL right now? Because there's a lot of good ones.
There's a lot of great defenses this season in the SFL. Obviously, there's the Canton Classics. As you said, they're one of the toughest defenses to play in the SFL. One team that I think is playing an extremely great defensive game this season is one of the teams we're going to see tonight in the Atlanta Swarm. It's not all just their star power on their offense. Their defense has been showing up as well, and a big credit to why they are 4-0 and trying to stay undefeated tonight and go 5-0, Cam.
Extremely underrated, flying under the radar. I look at this Vegas defense, which has traditionally forced a lot of turnovers, but also given up a lot of unnecessary big plays, and then they end up in a bunch of shootouts. They end up 7-5 every year, and they end up either missing the playoffs or losing in the first round. But this season, what I've seen is they've cut down on those high-risk, aggressive defensive play callings, but they're still getting the turnovers forced. And if they're able to keep teams in front of them while they pick off passes, this Vegas team could be for real this season, and it could be a sleeping giant there in the West Division. You know, they're kind of in with San Diego and Arizona, and there's not a whole lot of people paying attention to them. But watch out for Las Vegas for sure. Let's get to the next level sports game from Saturday, and this was a blowout. LA has just had a terrible season. They are 0-5. They were down 33-6. They lost the game 33-20, and Tulsa's back above 500. Nothing spectacular outside of Tulsa getting 15 tackles for loss, including 4 from Berto Demora, a couple half sacks. You know, Tulsa just did their thing. When you look at the numbers for Los Angeles, Paul, I mean, they don't look that bad, but there's just nothing that jumps off the page. And that's kind of been, if I had a sentence to describe LA this season, that's what it's been. You know, it's not bad, but just nothing is exciting right now about this Lycans team on the field.
Yeah, LA just struggling to get going this season. As you said, just nothing, not necessarily clicking together as a unit, but I know that they're another tough team as we see them once a season, and just a tough way to start the season. I know that the front office in LA is putting in the work and time to try to get their team to where they need to be, just getting a little slow to start this season.
Skippy with $4.99 super chat. Carolina's defense is the best defense, and hey,
another great one.
Another great one. We got highlights.
Defense.
We got highlights coming up from Carolina. See if they pulled off a win over Alamo City. But first, we head to Fort Worth, where the Charleston Predators offense got off to a much better start. It's amazing when you don't have to play Baltimore. Saren Storm with the touchdown, the first rushing touchdown of the season. Oh, Stephen Hacker, shut me up. That's a touchdown, and a pretty one at that, 10-7. Anyway, Charleston's first rushing touchdown of the season. Now 16-7, just before the half. John Fullerton with the catch from Marcus Dunhill, 16-14. Now third quarter, handoff, J.C. Bacon doing work. Wow, how did nobody touch him?
What a run.
This Fort Toro's offense in the second half was downright scary, especially after Charleston played pretty good defense against Baltimore last week. Robert Garrett Jr. with not one, but 2 scores. Marcus Dunhill was on fire. There's another one.
Marcus Dunhill playing like a man possessed in the second half. Again, trying to come down, just sticking to it. Just incredible play from Dunhill, just doing whatever he wanted against this Charleston defense.
Shoot the guns, put them in the holster. Stephen Hacker outrunning seemingly everybody. Man, it just felt like Fort Worth had the ball this entire second half. And J.Z. Bacon finishes them off 42-19 at that point, ended up 42-26. Denver at London. This game was wackadoo. 4 minutes to go in the first half. Denver led 24-7, but they were never the same after this. Vin Callia with the score. Quickly, London gets the ball back. Next possession, Robert Merrill gets the first down. Gets London in Denver territory. Keeps the drive going. More Robert Merrill. Keeping the drive going. And, I mean, you're just sitting here. That the whole first half, you're sitting here going, London's season is imploding. They're about to go 1-4. Denver's for real. But this was a huge drive for this London offense. Johnny Pickler over the middle. Talon Steele. Nearly 10 catches for the tight end free agent acquisition. And then Pickler finds Fox Highwind for the touchdown. It was 24-7. Now it's 24-21 heading into the half. First possession of the third quarter. Robert Merrill scores that one too. 28-24. London leads 21 unanswered for the Knights at home. Denver didn't know what hit them. But Denver, fortunately for them, has Bailey O'Shaughnessy. Broken tackle. See you later. Score. Touchdown Denver, 31-28. Nightwings back on top. Robert Merrill, can you answer, sir? Oh, yeah. Pretty spin move down the sideline. London right back in business.
Robert Merrill doing Robert Merrill things. He doesn't win an MVP award for nothing. He just by luck, proving why he's a former MVP.
Fox Highwin one-hander after London's drive ended in a field goal, makes it 38-31. Knights back on top. Denver not going anywhere. 7:25 to go in the fourth quarter. Play fake, Gene Struthers. Down the field, turn on a dime. Beautiful move, Riley Quintero. You make the highlight reel for plays like that. And for plays like this, touchdown. Got him exactly, Paul. Tie game at 38. London would respond just before the 2-minute warning. Pickler out to Merrill. Oh, gosh, you've got to be kidding me. 52-38. London beats Denver. No defense in that game. Now, Carolina to Alamo City. 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. No offense before that play to Heath McDaniel Jr. And the Skyhawks take the lead 7-3. There's more gun shooting here in week 6. Ace Fennick, Deuce Fennick, just before the half, Alamo City grabs some momentum. Makes it 10-7. As Tristan Hatley does a little dance with Deuce in the end zone. Brad Jones takes the handoff. Look at the second level blocking from Greg Soto. 17-7. Alamo City, late third quarter. Vince DeSantis from Matt South. Matt South playing a heck of a season. 20-14. South, deep. 3 minutes to go. Hits Heath McDaniel again. And Carolina's flying high. Ike McBride, touchdown. Another late hit. 21-20. Carolina on top. Ziggy Roenick flips the field for the artillery on this kick return and sets him back up. This game was great. One of the best fourth quarters we've seen all season, Paul.
What a kick return to put your shoulder down, throw two defenders off of you, getting the ball on the other side of the field in opposing territory. With under 2 minutes left, just a great kick return. Great job to put Alamo City in a position to try to win this game.
Ace Fennick out to Soto. That's a catch for the first down. Now 3rd down and 10. 1:20 to go. Deep drop back. Got to stay in field goal range. We don't need a field goal. We'll get a touchdown. Deuce Fennick with a double move scores and puts Alamo City out in front. 26-21. 2-point conversion time. This one was tight. Watch the line. Brad Jones. Did he get that? I think he did just squeeze it. 28-21. Alamo City in front. Carolina gets one last shot. Matt South with 1:02 to go. Fires down the field. Caught. That's Heath McDaniel Jr. once again. Nearly 200 yards for McDaniel Jr. in this one. 36 seconds to go. South looking around. Diving play. Made for the first down of the 21. It's Heath McDaniel Jr. again, but he takes forever to get to the line. Why would that be important? South's pass is caught by Prasad at the 3, but they run out of time. They got to get set. They're not set. Carolina falls 28-21. Ashley Jackson, what did Bo Martin Jr. have to say after the game?
What is up, SFL Nation? And we are back with PGI. And I have another good friend of mine, Mr. Bo Martin Jr. He is one of the owners of the Alamo City Artillery, as well as he's a pretty fierce cornerback, when playing certain teams. He will.
I used to be. Now who am I? Say my name.
Thick and juicy.
You know it, baby. Thick and juicy.
Hey, man. But good having you on the show. I'm so happy that you made it. And I just have one question for you guys. You guys played Carolina so well. And for a minute, it looked a little bleak. But what do you think the key was to the success that you guys had in actually pulling out that win?
Okay, so boom. We already know that Carolina is a tough win. We were expecting a slugfest, and we got exactly what we were looking for. everybody knows Ike McBride is a beast. There's no questioning that. So our strategy was to try to minimize, the damage that she can do, because we know if she gets loose, there's very few people in the SFL that's going to stop her. So our goal was try to contain her, to keep her from getting started, which we did a pretty good job of. She was able to break free for a touchdown in the fourth quarter, but it's impossible to hold her down for the whole game. She's going to get hers, but overall, I think our defense is really what shined today. Ace had some struggles early on, but I really respect the fact that he was able to shake off those 2 interceptions and come back in the second half. We had a real good discussion in the locker room during halftime, and we kind of coached him up a bit, and he was able to get it together and come back out in the second half and play some ball. So overall, I think, our offense came together. Brad Jones is a beast. Of course, everybody knows that, but I think our offense really came together towards the end of the game, but our defense is what held us together. Shout out to Bogey Barr for playing a phenomenal game. We had him spying Ike the whole game, and that's what kept her in check. And shout out to him for holding us down, and shout out to the defense too, for just helping us get the win.
Incredible win, incredible effort from an incredible team. Wish you the best of luck. Huh?
Thank you. It's huge. Shout out to Carolina for a great game. Harish, great guy. Hattori Hanzo, great guy. Shan Varner, I love y'all. And I appreciate y'all letting us get this W.
All right. One more question quickly. What do you say to anyone that still considers the Alamo City underrated?
Keep doubting us. We'll show you otherwise. Keep doubting us.
All right, good stuff.
We appreciate y'all. The haters, just keep on hating, because if you keep hating me long enough, you're going to end up loving me.
Oh, all right then. Good stuff, Paul. Really appreciate your time, brother, and I'll see you soon.
Boom.
Paulie, Cam, back to you.
Thanks, Ashley. That's what happened to me. Now I love Bo. Standings through week 6. There's a look at it. Arizona not number 1 any longer. That's back to Baltimore, back on top of the standings. We'll see Atlanta on Impact Monday. They're 4-0. Arizona falls to 3rd. They have a bye next week. Minnesota is still your Central Division leader at 4-1, but things are getting tight. Vegas currently a wild card, along with 6 teams that are 3-2. Fort Worth and Tulsa on the outside looking in right now. Sioux Falls on the outside looking in. A win could join them in the mess. Almost 1/3 of the league would be 3-2 if Sioux Falls were to upset Atlanta on Monday night, and then Alamo City is 3-3 heading into their bye. Most interesting thing about the standings through 6 weeks, Paul.
I gotta say, shout out to Las Vegas to go up against Arizona, an undefeated team, and to be able to come out of the game with a victory is huge for Las Vegas. With how tight this playoff race is looking, we've seen it last season that 7 and 5 teams, they might miss the playoffs. So you got to win every single game. You got to treat every single game like it is a playoff deciding game, and just go in and do what you and your team know how to do.
A look ahead to Week 7. Next Saturday starts the Week 7 slate, and we begin in London and Canton for the second straight week. London welcomes Queen City into town. The Corsairs 0-5. Tiberius Bovine was in London last season, looking to be a revenge game there. And then Las Vegas and Canton should be a spicy Saturday afternoon game with that Vegas offense against that Canton defense. It's going to be a tremendous matchup between 2 teams above 500. On Next Level Sports, we got Minnesota and Florida at 6:30 Eastern. Houston, Carolina, Seattle, Sioux Falls, and Atlanta, Los Angeles. That's Seattle Sioux Falls game late. I believe that's the first time y'all have ever played Sioux Falls, and
it's going to be a good one.
Yeah,
it's going to be a great one.
Sunday, we got 4 games on the slate, starting with Fort Worth at Baltimore. The Toros get their crack at the unbeaten Vultures. Tulsa heads to Jacksonville. Indianapolis goes to Portland, and San Diego is in Denver. Next Monday night, we are in Louisiana at Stack Up Stadium. This one should be good. Right now, both teams are 3-2. Vancouver and Louisiana next Impact Monday. What do you think about next Monday's matchup?
Oh, next Monday, that's going to be a heck of a game. Can't wait to see both of these teams play and to be able to learn a little bit more about both of these teams, see how they play. It's just going to be a battle for the ages, and it's going to be an instant classic for SFL Impact Monday.
For those on YouTube, we preview Sioux Falls and Atlanta coming up next, and followed by our kickoff. For those of you watching this week in the SFL on Next Level Sports, we appreciate you catching our recap of Week 6. Look forward to the games in Week 7, Minnesota and Florida, and the rest of SFL on demand. You can find us every game, every moment, youtube.com/SimulationFL. And stay tuned to Next Level Sports all season long for more SFL coverage. For now, we'll take a break. We'll say goodbye to our NLSC audience, and Paul and I will be right back. Welcome back to Impact Monday. Sioux Falls and Atlanta is our primetime matchup tonight. Paul, we need some excitement on Monday nights. We've had Indy and Minnesota, not to throw them under the bus, but they disappointed us a little bit last week. This is a Season 14 championship rematch. Can't wait to see this Atlanta defense for the first time in person. They're so underrated.
Yeah, Atlanta, what a team in general. Again, Sioux Falls, a historic franchise as well. It's just going to be a great game. Like you said, Season 14 championship rematch. We're going to see both of these teams compete at a high level tonight, and I can't wait for the game to get started.
Atlanta, 16.3 points per game allowed, fewest in the SFL. 4 giveaways. That's it. Paul, last season they had 37. They have 4. 4 in the first
Incredible.
4 games. It's crazy, the turnaround. That might be, depending upon how it finishes this season, that may be the single greatest turnaround for giveaways from one season to the next. Atlanta is taking care of the football. How about Sioux Falls? Last season, they allowed 5 rushing touchdowns, the least in the SFL. They've already allowed 9 this season, and as you mentioned, Paul, it's they're coming back to Atlanta for the first time since Supergiant Rock Show. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy. This could be a big night for BDG if Sioux Falls can't figure out how to figure it out.
BDG Hollywood, one of the most exciting players to watch in the SFL. Super excited to see what he's going to do in this game, and excited to see how Sioux Falls plans to stop BDG Hollywood in the game as well.
Mike O'Neill has your game preview from his perspective. The matchups to watch around the SFL. Take it away.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate the work you guys do up there in the booth. Mike O'Neill here. Welcome to Around the SFL matchups to watch. We've got Sioux Falls and Atlanta tonight. Atlanta 4-0, the Goliath, if you will, of this season. They're putting the league on notice right now. 4-0. They're only giving up 16 points per game right now in this season. BDG Hollywood's averaging 29 touches per game, which is unbelievable. They're not getting a crazy amount of production from the pass game, but Bryant Dynasty in the top 5 in both QBR and completion percentage. He's at 79% completion percentage on the season and 101 QBR. So Atlanta's doing a lot of things right. It's easy to say. So if you're Sioux Falls, how are you coming into this game? Well, let's look at the fact that BDG's getting 29 touches per game. Obviously, you've got to cue in on that. If Sioux Falls has one job tonight, it's going to be to stop BDG Hollywood, which opens up some great passing lanes for Atlanta if we're talking about it. Atlanta realistically can come out, and Sioux Falls is expecting them to come out in heavy sets and run the ball a lot because they haven't had a lot of production on the passing side of things. So if Sioux Falls comes out to stop the run and Atlanta passes out of the run sets, well, it sounds like you're going to get some mismatches there. One I want you guys to watch for tonight is tight end Jamal Wooding. He's going to be one to watch. He's my player to watch tonight, my matchup to watch tonight, if you will. Tight end Jamal Wooding against the outside linebackers of Sioux Falls. I'm expecting a big game from the tight end tonight, as Sioux Falls has to come into this game prepared to stop BDG, and I think in the process, Jamal Wooding has a big game. We're going to flip over to the other side. Sioux Falls, top 10 in the league right now in takeaways. They've got 11. They're giving up nearly 120 rushing yards per game on average, so not very well there. All the more reason for them to cue in on BDG tonight. 331 passing yards per game, though, so a little different, as Sioux Falls has had more of their success in the passing territory. So they've been inconsistent in the run. Williams really only has 49 carries on the season, so you can't really expect to come out here and worry too much about Williams, which is why I'm saying that for Sioux Falls, the key matchup to watch for Sioux Falls, the key to victory is going to be halfback Jason Williams tonight. Use the run to set up the pass. Get Williams more than 15 carries tonight in order to open up the playbook entirely. Atlanta's going to come out expecting Sioux Falls to air it out like they've done all season. If they come out and somewhat establish this run, and they get Williams somewhat involved, because right now they're not even, Williams isn't even on, he's not even on the chalkboard looking at it. So if they come out and they get Williams somewhat involved tonight, then they can open up the playbook and air it out like they're used to, and potentially keep up with the points with Atlanta and make this a shootout. So this is going to be a good one to watch. Again, your keys to victory, or your matchups to watch, are going to be tight end Jamal Wooding against the outside linebackers of Sioux Falls for Atlanta, and for Sioux Falls, halfback Jason Williams against the Atlanta defensive line. Thank you guys so much for watching this. It's been a pleasure. Hope you guys enjoy the game tonight. Good luck to both teams. We're going to send it back to Cam and Paul.
Thank you, Mike O'Neill. Paul Sarp, you ready?
I'm ready to go, Cam.
We're ready here. Kickoff coming up right around the corner on SFL YouTube. Sioux Falls, Atlanta. Let's go.